Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Hope all of you are fine. Our today's topic is serum electrolytes. In my last lecture in acid-base balance, we talked about milieu interior or internal environment of the body, which is mainly maintained by three things. Number one is by acid-base balance, which we already have been discussed. Second is water balance. Your Sadia ma'am will discuss regarding this thing. And lastly, by electrolyte balance. Today we are starting our class on it. So this is the objectives of this lecture class. After completion of this class, you will be able to know what are the serum electrolytes, distribution of different serum electrolytes in the body, hormonal regulation of these electrolytes, what are the pathological conditions of these electrolytes, and the various techniques utilized to estimation serum electrolytes different. So, firstly, what is serum electrolytes? In our first class, we studied about minerals, sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and all of them were neutral, no charged. So, charged mineral in blood and body fluid are called electrolytes. Charged minerals like sodium ion, sodium plus, chloride ion, chloride minus, bicarbonate minus, potassium plus, calcium plus plus. So these are called electrolytes. It affects in our body function in many ways. Number one, these electrolytes are mainly responsible for the water balance of the body. Number two, acid-base balance. How? You can remember in acid-base balance, we studied that in kidney, hydrogen ion excretion, bicarbonate regeneration, all were related with sodium. Disodium monohydrogen phosphate, monosodium dihydrogen phosphate, sodium reabsorption in exchange of potassium or in exchange of hydrogen. Can you remember? Yes. Number three, muscle function. All of you know in physiology you have already studied about action potential. There are many electrolytes discussed and many other processes like metabolism. Manganese is always important in many metabolic process. Potassium is important. So what are the common electrolytes in the body? These are sodium, potassium, calcium, chloride, bicarbonate, magnesium, phosphorus, etc. Among them, these three are very important. Sodium, it is the main cation of ECF. Main cation of ECF, and it mainly maintains plasma osmolarity near about 92%. Potassium, on the other hand, is the main cation of ICF or cell. Potassium level within the cell is huge and it mainly maintains the cell size and shape. Calcium, all of you know, it is mostly found in skeletal tissue and plays a major role in intracellular enzymatic reaction as a catalyst. Now, sodium, I already mentioned, it is the principal cation of ECF. Daily our requirement is 10 to 15 gram. Where we get it? The main source is table salt, sodium chloride, that we get from mine or from sea. Others are fruit, vegetables, cereal, nuts, breads. Most of the food contains sodium. And among 10 gram sodium chloride, we get 4 gram sodium. This one is important. It's a viva question, commonly asked. Sometimes in written also it comes. Name 4 important electrolytes with their reference range. Sodium 135 to 45, potassium 3.5 to 5, chloride 95 to 105, bicarbonate 22 to 28. All are in millimole per liter. Functions of sodium. What are the functions of sodium? I already mentioned it maintains ECF volume and plasma osmolarity. Very important. 92% of plasma osmolarity is maintained by sodium and associated ions. Number 2, it maintains sodium potassium pump. Number 3, in physiology you have already studied it. It helps in transmission of nerve impulse, rapid depolarization. Here the action potential, starting with opening of the voltage gated sodium channel, and repolarization on the other hand done by potassium, opening of potassium channel. Yes. And then sodium potassium chloride all maintain water balance. Yes. And sodium is the main ion that is responsible for maintaining blood pressure. It maintains normal cardiac rhythm. As a part of buffer it acts, helps in absorption of glucose galactose. Already you have studied it, how absorption of glucose and galactose occurs, amino acid occurs, sodium dependent co-transport mechanism. And this sodium concentration in blood is mainly maintained by a hormone that is called aldosterone. We will discuss elaborately about it. Now sodium homeostasis, how it maintained. Constant body sodium is 3500 to 4500 millimole in case of adult. That means average 4000 millimole total body sodium. It is present in the body. Among them, more than 90% present in ECF and less than 10% in ICF. And daily, we intake on an average 100 to 200 millimole with food, drink, added salt, etc., etc., etc. And output is also 1 to 100 millimole per day. And among them, mostly passes through urine, 150 millimole per day, feces 5 to 10 millimole per day, and sweating. It depends. In cold climate, sedentary worker, sweating will be minimum, and heavy worker in a warm, hot day, this sweating will be much more. Hormones regulating sodium balance. I previously mentioned the main hormone maintains sodium level is aldosterone. Other than aldosterone, 3 important hormone is present that maintains sodium balance in the body. Number 1 is renin-angiotensin. Actually, renin-angiotensin and aldosterone combined with, say that renin-angiotensin aldosterone mechanism or system, RAAS, renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. Others are catecholamine and ANP, atrial natriuretic peptide. Aldosterone works on distal convoluted tubule and helps in sodium reabsorption. In acid-base disorder, we discussed about it. Renin-angiotensin, we'll discuss it just few slides later. It acts on proximal convoluted tubule and helps in sodium reabsorption. Catecholamine, that means epinephrine, norepinephrine, adrenaline or noradrenaline, etc. They increase sodium reabsorption from proximal convoluted tubule. And ANP, atrial natriuretic peptide, ANP, atria, where atria is present? Yes, in the heart, atria and ventricle. Yes, from there a peptide is released that decrease sodium chloride reabsorption from collecting duct, distal tubule. Here's the chart is present. A few hormones, angiotensin 2, ANP, vitamin D3, parathyroid, aldosterone, antidiuretic hormone, etc. discussed here, how they triggered, where they act and effect. You just go through it. Our class teacher will discuss about this slide. Same thing what I have told, and in next few slides what I will tell. All are present as a gist here. It's a diagram of a nephron. This is glomerulus, proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct. Now look what we said, angiotensin 2, it acts on proximal side, proximal convoluted tubule. ANP, it acts both on proximal tubule as well as here. So angiotensin 2, it acts on glomerulus and proximal convoluted tubule. ANP also acts on glomerulus. Parathyroid hormone related with calcium homeostasis, it acts on distal convoluted tubule. Aldosterone on collecting duct and distal tubule, and lastly ADH mainly related with water reabsorption, water balance. It acts on collecting duct. Now, what I previously mentioned, renin angiotensin aldosterone system, RAAS, rush. So how they act? Liver synthesize angiotensinogen, it's a protein, and release it in the blood. In an inactive way, it present in the blood. Just circulate angiotensinogen in a specific level. When blood pressure decrease or sodium level decrease in the body, blood, or sympathetic activity increase. So what happens? Either sympathetic activity will increase or decrease blood pressure or decrease sodium level, then kidney will release renin. This renin will convert inactive angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. From the lung, a protein is released, angiotensin converting enzyme. It's an enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme. This enzyme converts angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2, the most active element. This angiotensin 2 has 5 important functions. Number 1, it acts on kidney. It causes efferent arteriolar constriction. Just imagine, through afferent arteriole, huge amount of blood is coming to the glomerulus, but efferent arteriolar constriction causes a severe pressure on the glomerulus. It will increase glomerular filtrate. Okay. Yes. As well as it increase sodium hydrogen exchanger activity. Sodium hydrogen exchanger activity. Sodium will reabsorb in exchange of hydrogen. So in kidney it causes these two things. Now come the posterior pituitary. From posterior pituitary it causes stimulation of ADH secretion. It stimulates ADH secretion. ADH will release and act on distal tubule and will help in water reabsorption. More and more water, volume will expand, blood pressure will be normal. Here sodium will be reabsorbed, hyponatremia or lack of sodium will be corrected. Now vascular smooth muscle, normal in the body, the vessel wall, it will causes constrict smooth muscle of arteriole and increase blood pressure. So by this way it will also increase blood pressure. In the hypothalamus it will causes thirst stimulation. So a person will drink more. So more water will be ingested in the body. Hypovolemia will correct, blood pressure will be normal. And lastly, in the adrenal cortex it will causes aldosterone secretion. So it stimulates aldosterone secretion, it stimulates ADH secretion. Aldosterone secretion, this aldosterone will act on distal tubule and collecting duct and help in sodium reabsorption. So hyponatremia will be corrected. So in which condition renin secretes? When blood pressure decrease, when sodium level decrease, hyponatremia. So by this 5 mechanism, angiotensin 2 correct hypotension and hyponatremia both. So this is the total picture. Here another picture, how angiotensin 2 causes sodium reabsorption, how aldosterone causes sodium reabsorption. So last part of rush, aldosterone synthesis. We said angiotensin 2 stimulates adrenal cortex to release aldosterone. This is the number 1 stimulation of aldosterone secretion, and other than that ACTH or high potassium level. High potassium level, can you say why high potassium level causes aldosterone secretion? Yes, because aldosterone act on distal tubule and causes sodium reabsorption in exchange of potassium. So potassium will excrete. Number 2 stimulation is plasma sodium deficiency. Number 3 acidosis. Acidosis causes increased aldosterone secretion. And last, decreased blood pressure. So these are the 4 cause or 4 stimulus of aldosterone secretion. Mode of action of aldosterone, very simple. Aldosterone comes to the distal tubule, it causes gene expression, acts on nucleus and causes synthesis of sodium and potassium channel. Here more clearly it is given, epithelial sodium channel and renal outer medullary potassium channel, ROMK channel. This aldosterone causes synthesis of 1 and 2 channel. And when this channel are synthesized and comes in the periphery, what happens? Sodium reabsorption occurs. In exchange of potassium, sodium enters into the cell from glomerular filtrate or urine, and potassium goes to the urine. Now, ANP, natriuretic peptides. These are peptide hormones synthesized by heart, brain and other organ. Among them, most important one is ANP or atrial natriuretic peptide, that is stored and released by atrial myocytes in response to atrial distension. Atria when highly distended, full-agi. Angiotensin 2 stimulation, already we have studied. Endothelin or sympathetic stimulation. These 4 things causes ANP release in the blood. And what happens? Just follow it. ANP acts on afferent arteriole. Afferent means through which blood comes to the kidney. And efferent means from the kidney blood goes to the periphery. Blood goes out and afferent blood comes in to the kidney. Here ANP dilates the afferent arterioles. That means more and more blood comes here, and in the capillary it creates a huge pressure, so increase what? Glomerular filtrate. I means urine volume. So it is called diuresis. It causes diuresis. Increase water volume in urine is diuresis. Increase sodium volume in urine, natriuresis. Natriuresis. Now, as well as ANP acts on collecting duct. Here it acts on glomerulus, here it acts on collecting duct. And here it causes decreased sodium reabsorption. So more and more sodium passes through urine. Here huge free water passes, and here sodium passes. Natriuresis. Here the spelling mistake is present. NATRU, natriuresis. Have you got it? ANP has 2 functions. Number 1, in glomerulus, it causes afferent arteriolar dilation and increase glomerular filtrate. In the distal tubule collecting duct, it causes decreased reabsorption of sodium. Natriuretic peptide we already mentioned, it found in heart, brain. In heart it is called ANP. In the brain type is called BNP. It is synthesized largely by ventricles. Brain ventricles. BNP is released by the same mechanism that is released ANP, and it has the similar physiological action, same type. So, cardiac distension, sympathetic stimulation, angiotensin 2, it causes from heart ANP, from brain BNP. This ANP and BNP causes decreased renin, so decrease angiotensin 2 and aldosterone, and decrease blood volume. ANP BNP causes vasodilation, decrease blood pressure. So ultimately it causes natriuresis and diuresis, and final is decreased blood pressure. Aldosterone causes increased blood pressure. Angiotensin 2 causes increased blood pressure, but ANP BNP causes decreased blood pressure. ANP BNP causes vasodilation. Angiotensin 2 causes vasoconstriction. Now, antidiuretic hormone ADH. Okay, in next class we'll discuss about it. Thank you very much.